Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Builds by Bailey. Today we're going to look into the BMW and find out why the trunk isn't opening for me at the current moment. I'm pretty sure that it has to do with the electronic solenoid that actually opens the latch part. This car doesn't have like a rod or anything like that that goes from the handle lever. It's all electronic. So I went ahead and I bought a new latch. So it has a little electric motor inside of it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to swap this one out with the one that's in there and see if that fixes my problem. First things first, we'll try unlocking it as much as we can and then trying to hit the button. And the button does nothing. The only way I found to get into it is with the key. So we'll get in, turn the lever, break it loose. Now I've gone ahead and I've already taken out all the little plastic rivets that actually hold this piece on. So the only thing that's really holding it in place right now is the toolbox. So all of those just come out with, they're just little push pins, so you just pop them loose and they'll come right out. So there's also the safety handle that goes up in here. I have that out already too because that's actually attached to the lever itself. So it looks like I'm going to need to get some Torx bits to unbolt this. And I'll go ahead and grab my tools and we'll go ahead and take that out. So there's these 3 bolts up here that hold these in. They're all T30s. I don't know, it may not focus. They're all T30s. I have a Torx bit driver. So I'm just going to take those out. That'll hold it in place. There's also an electric clip on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and unplug that. Now when you do, I just heard the electronic switch disengage on this. I did notice that whenever that was unplugged that the running lights for your tag light don't work. So if you run into this problem, you'll have to do what I did and shut the trunk with all of this stuff loose, reach back inside and plug that back up. But if you try to hook it back up right now and shut it, the trunk won't catch. Or the latch won't catch. So 3 Torx bit T30s, and that should hold that in place. Now you can also see after you kind of wiggle it out there that there's 2 cables in place. One of them goes to that safety cable that goes up underneath here. The other one goes over into the latch, the actual part where you put your key in. So you're just going to have to slide that out, which should be able to put the key in and turn that, and that'll get you to where you need to be on that one. Okay, so it goes the opposite direction, so key won't help. But there is 2 little things up here. Should just be able to pull down on that, and that'll get out of there. Okay. And there you have the latch. It's all out. The cables are attached. Now the one thing that the new one doesn't come with is these cables. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to get those off, which I don't think it'll be too difficult. It's got to be able to be serviceable somehow. So I'm going to take those off real quick and tell you how to do that. Okay, so I have the old one and I've got the new one sitting next to each other. Just by looking at them, they look identical. All the plugs are in the right places. They all have the right shape. Yeah, they all have the right shape. Just making sure everything lines up like it's supposed to. It looks like these cables come out, like there's a little pin that you can push up. This part here spins inside of it. So I'm pretty sure I can just take a flat blade screwdriver and pry up on that, and that should pop that up. See if it'll work. Yeah. So that popped up. Just spin it around a couple of times there and that'll break free. And then that part should just come right off. And it does. So the old one's pretty much done. And we'll clip that onto the new one. Make sure when you put it on there that you don't have anything twisted or kinked. You want everything to go back in place just how it came off. So we'll push that back down in until it clicks. And then we'll push our little push pin piece back into it. Okay, and that locks that in place. And then when this goes up on there, everything will slide in place inside the car. So the new cable's been put on that. One of the things that the directions came with on the new kit is that these little holes that actually hold it on are not threaded yet. So I'm going to have to pre-thread the threads with the screws that came out of it. They're kind of like a self-tapper. So I'm going to kind of put this in the vise a little bit and put new threads in, so that way whenever I put it in the car in just a second, that these will thread right in there like they're supposed to. Okay, I got all of those little screws threaded. I actually didn't have to use the vise, so I just went ahead and kind of put them up there with my hand and just kind of tightened them in there, and they threaded perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and thread all these cables back up inside here. Poke that part through the hole, and then just go ahead with your T30 and just screw everything down. Now that that part's bolted in, we'll go ahead and we'll reattach our cables. Now the one with the white piece on it, that's the one that goes to the latch or the key lock part. So make sure you put the cylinder part in first, the cable cylinder, and then the other part should just snap right up into place. And then the other one sits over, and it's got a little part that grabs onto the metal up in there, and then you can thread that back through the hole. So all of that's done. The last part is to just hook up the wiring and see if everything worked. The little wiring parts on this side. Let's see if we can feed it back out here. Okay, so hook our little connector into the side, and then make sure you don't have the keys inside the trunk, and then do a test fit. See if everything latches down into place like it's supposed to. So then once you get it all put back together, all you have to do is just shut the trunk lid and it latches. Well, long and short, that really didn't fix my problem. I discovered that I had a short in one of the wires in the trunk main harness. So now I have to figure out where in the world the short is, but what it's doing is it's back feeding, it's like it grounded itself against another wire. And it's actually feeding negative power to the trunk latch, and every time you hit the button it spins the opposite direction, the little gear inside does, and it actually it forces it open the wrong way and then keeps it open, and it won't allow it to shut. So I read a little bit on some forums, and it basically says that I'm going to have to replace that harness because the wiring on these BMWs, the little sheathing that goes over it is very brittle. So anytime that there's a place where there's some chafing or some wear, it has a tendency to break, and then when it breaks, it grounds against something else. So if you're looking at buying one of these BMWs in the back and you can deal with its electrical issues, then by all means buy one. The power is awesome, but the electrical stuff is kind of a nightmare. I love this car to death. It's really fun to drive every day. It is the V8, but I'm probably going to sell this car because of all the electrical issues that it has. So as soon as I find out, basically they said that the chafing section is where the trunk lid actually shuts, so off to the one side. So I'm going to look into that, maybe unravel that another day, and figure out a way to fix it. Maybe cut and splice and put some sheathing over it. I don't know. I just haven't figured it out yet. But I'll find out where the problem's at and fix it, because it's causing other problems in the car because it's grounding out. The radio isn't working properly. So I think all of that has to do with the same thing. So once I find out where the one problem's at, I'll be able to fix all of it. So once again, thank you guys for watching. I wish that I could have had a better outcome on this video, but at least you kind of learned some stuff on how to replace that latch if you want to. It doesn't really fix my problem, and I hope that this kind of sheds some light on your problem if it's the same. So once again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends.